Hey, whoever made that intro video is pretty good. Just want to call that out there. I don't know who did it, but I was pretty proud of it.
Yes, you did.
Welcome, greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to Optimal Health Community Time. I am your beautiful bald man. I am behind the scenes, and this is not my typical role. I don't typically get in front of the camera. I leave that to the pretty people. However, tonight they we were actually discussing this the other day, Jennifer. And what I love about this is the way this topic came up. It started off as, okay, we need to talk about choices versus cheating. And who comes to mind when it comes to making poor choices? And everyone said, Chris should come on. This is going to be fantastic. I didn't know whether to be offended or really excited about that, but I'll tell you, it's been pretty fun planning for this. So, how about you, Jen?
Oh, so awesome. Well, it's so awesome to host with you tonight, Chris. You are a rock star. And yeah, it's going to be fun tonight because, Chris, I don't think you're the only one. I've been there too. You name it, every diet, I've pretty much been on it. And I think that cheating is definitely a diet mentality, right?
Oh yeah. Oh,
I think,
100%.
yeah, diets are something that we start and we stop. We're on or we're off, right? And we're not really talking tonight about food per se. We really want to talk about, mindset and language, right? Because diets are something that are temporary. And what we are doing or trying to do, right, is create health, not follow a diet. A diet might say, how long have I been doing this? Whereas creating health is saying, who am I becoming and being in charge of what happens, right? It's a skill set.
Oh, 100%. And I love that. And the idea behind that is the empowerment triangle versus the drama triangle. You guys have all seen the drama triangle and the empowerment triangle, especially if you've been plugged into the Habits of Health or the Life Book, which, by the way, to every single person that has an Optavia account, you have access to the Habits of Health on audiobook. I don't know if you knew that. It's inside the Optavia app. You log into the app from Droid or from iPhone. I recommend iPhone just because I'm an iPhone junkie. But once you log into the Optavia app, you have complete access to the Habits of Health on audiobook. Use it. There's no reason not to. If you have all these tools, why not? Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we all get stuck in that drama triangle sometimes, but it's not about living in the drama triangle as a hero, as a victim, or as a villain. It's about really getting into the empowerment triangle, and that's what our entire focus is here at Optavia, for sure.
Right. And what we want to do tonight is really help you live in that empowerment triangle. So I think as we start off tonight, I've got a question for y'all. How many of you have ever said or heard somebody say, I need a cheat day? Have you been there? Say me if you have, right? um, my question tonight is what kind of feelings come up when you say that word? Put that in the chat for us. When you think of the word cheat, what words come up for you? Guilt. Okay, I see guilt, shame, defeat, failure,
Naughty. I
frustration.
like that. I like naughty. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh, somebody just said day off, right? Yeah. So, I think the word cheat carries baggage. When we say cheat, it really does imply failure or shame. Some of these words that you guys are sharing, maybe breaking the rules. You're not a rule breaker, I'm sure, Chris, never.
Oh, no.
But not at all. But the language creates a diet mentality. And I think what's important to recognize tonight is that our words matter. Words shape beliefs, and beliefs shape behavior. So when Chris, you were just talking about the empowerment triangle, we want to help shape that behavior tonight. The language we use literally programs our brain. So if we say I cheated, our brain hears I failed, I broke the rules, or I'm bad. And what happens after
Mm,
that? We spiral, right?
mm. Oh, yeah.
Um,
Well,
so not a good thing.
and and you know what's interesting is the cheat. I want to have a cheat meal. Let's analyze that for a second. Okay. Let's say we're going through the holidays, and it's funny that this topic usually comes up during the holidays. We usually have this topic right in between October 31st, which is Halloween, and sometime in there between Halloween and Thanksgiving. And we do that because we all have choices. If you're going through the holidays trying not to cheat, you're going to make a whole lot of choices, good choices, bad choices. It's all over the place, right? But realistically, it's not just about the holidays. This is a daily thing. For some of us, it's even an hourly thing. I can tell you that I definitely have an addiction to delicious food because I'm a human being, and delicious food is awesome. I love crackers and cheese. I love ice cream. I love pizza. And shout out to Jared Smithson. Thank you for the Costco pizza hack. If you guys are interested, and I'll put his phone number in the chat. You can text him and just ask him how much of a Costco pizza you can have. Anyways, the point is choices
Yeah.
versus cheating. There is no such thing as a cheat in life. There's only choices. And the way our program is set up, it doesn't matter if you're on the 5-1, if you're on the 4-2, if you're on the 3-3, if you're on the insert program here. It doesn't matter. It matters
Right.
that you're eating 6 times a day, every 2 to 3 hours. And if you make a choice and it's maybe not the best choice, that's okay. Because in 3 hours, you get another chance to make a better choice. And then in another 3 hours, and then in another 3 hours, and then in another 3 hours. And that's how you live life. And I'll tell you,
Right.
you're not always going to make a perfect choice. So, Jen, you and I were talking about this. I'm up here at my cabin right now. We have a cabin up here in the middle of the woods. Thankfully, we have Starlink. Hopefully, it doesn't go down. And on the drive up here, it's a 3 hour drive. And I have some habits when it comes to driving. We like to stop at a specific restaurant called Dairy Queen, and we like to get a Blizzard. And I like to get a bagel sandwich if it's early enough in the morning. And there's all these habits that I've had over the years prior to getting healthier that we've had to shift a little bit and not necessarily completely get rid of, just shift a little bit. And now instead of stopping and grabbing a bagel with cream cheese and getting a delicious bagel sandwich, I'm salivating just thinking about how good that sandwich was. I just want to call that out. But instead of doing that, I have some crackers and cheese on the drive up here, but I make sure that I also have a fueling on either side of it. So I'll have a fueling right before we get in the car. Usually about an hour and a half into the drive, I'll have some crackers and cheese because that's just my road trip food. And I have an amazing wife who hands it to me. She feeds me while we're driving down the road. It's the best. If you guys don't have a Heidi in your life, you need a Heidi in your life. She's the absolute best. And then when we get to our cabin, I usually have another fueling. So, I had a good choice, and then I had a not so good choice, and then I had another good choice. Instead of just compounding those bad choices over and over and over and over and over, because the cheat meal isn't usually a cheat meal, Jen. It's usually a cheat day, right? And then a cheat weekend.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
But I think I love how this is what's so important for everybody to take away tonight is which CH word are we going to use? Because that simple shift does something powerful. It gives us ownership. And when you take ownership, then you don't have to, beat yourself up. So, what we want to do is CH word. Is it a cheat or is it a choice? Now, every choice that we have probably hurts us or helps us, right? So when we can kind of stop, challenge, and choose, and we might dive into that a little bit here in a minute, but when we stop to make a choice, it will lead us to probably one of those two H's. So if you can ask yourself, is this choice helping me or hurting me? Sometimes, as Chris just, mentioned, it might be a choice that's not the best for your health, but you're choosing it intentionally. That is still ownership. And that's what we want to do. We don't want to live in the victim triangle. We want to live in the empowerment triangle. We're going to talk about champion a little bit later on, but really proud of you, Chris, for, really making sure that you're not allowing those choices to spiral. You talked the other day about the flat tire analogy. Let's talk about that. What happens with that one?
So, okay, let's think about you making a choice. Cheating, and let's think of that in the same analogy as a flat tire on your car. If you're driving down the road and you get a flat tire, do you then immediately shoot out the other three tires? No. You change the flat and you keep going. It would be, I'm going to say it, there's a bad word in my house, but it's going to be stupid if you shoot out all four tires, right? It doesn't make any sense. But a lot of times we do that when it comes to our health. A lot of times, if we make a mistake, we beat ourselves up and we get stuck in that victim mindset. Whoa, woe is me. Oh, I'm always going to be. I'm going to say this because I was a big fat guy. Oh, I'm always going to be a big fat guy, or whatever your own inner talk is. We all have that inner talk, and it's And it's about looking past that and realizing, okay, look, I had a flat tire. Now what? Change the flat tire and keep going. You're going to have speed bumps on the way. You're going to have mistakes that you make along the way. It's not about the mistake. It's about how you react to it. I have this conversation with my kids all the time. You know, my kids are miniature versions of me, so they're obnoxious. It's absolutely obnoxious, and they make a lot of choices, and they get really frustrated at their friends. And they always come to me, and they usually try to go to mom because I try and analyze it, and mom just kind of loves them and hugs them on them. And yeah, I don't do that. When they come to me, I said, okay, well, you're reacting like this. Whose choice is it to react like this? Is it your choice to react like this, or is this person that's making you feel a certain way? Is it their choice for you to react like this? And they're like, well, you're not understanding. I'm like, no, I am. I get it. We all get stuck in that, and as kids, as adults, we all get stuck in that concept of making a choice and reacting to things. So how are you reacting to things? Are you reacting to things where it's going to help you, like Jen mentioned, or if it's going to hurt you? And sometimes we will. Sometimes we will make that choice where it's not exactly serving us long term. But again, it's not about that one choice. It's about those choices compounding over time to make sure that you are moving in the right direction, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the really important point to notice, because we have to recognize these patterns, right? That there are so many times when we're in that diet mentality, oh well, I already cheated, and the whole day goes sideways, just as you mentioned, right? The breakfast choice or mistake becomes a lunch sabotage, dinner sabotage, late night sabotage, right? And the real issue, Chris, wasn't the first tire. It's actually what we told ourselves
Yeah.
about it, right?
Yeah.
So cheating language, I think, creates the all nothing thinking. It's either perfect or failure. And life doesn't work that way. I've got another analogy for you, Chris. An alarm clock, right? If your alarm clock goes off in the morning, does not go off in the morning, you set it and it doesn't go off, do you say, well, I guess my day is ruined. I'm not going to work today? Of course not. Once again, you adapt. Dieting people tend to think that if we can't get 100%, I'll just take a zero.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, I'm going to take an 85% day over a zero any day. And the truth is, progress happens in the gray. But I'm going to give I'm going to give a gentle caution, Chris, okay? Because hello, if you take too many road trips and are stopping at you too often, the gray is a place to grow, not a place to hide.
Mm.
If we start using the gray to justify choices that consistently sabotage the person that we say we want to become, that then we're no longer growing. We're actually drifting. So yes, we can take ownership with, oh, I stopped and I chose and I did this better. But if we're consistently doing that, it growth means we don't excuse patterns, Chris, that keep us stuck, right?
100%. And let's talk about that because this is something Jen and I have spoken at length about with our favorite coach, Craig Blanchett. You guys know Craig. He basically is just a shorter version of me. He's also an Olympian, but we tease each other all the time. We're constantly confused for each other. I'm just a little bit taller than he is. So Craig talks about this. He says, did you use Stop Challenge shoes this week? And I said, absolutely, I used Stop Challenge shoes. He's like, okay, how long did you wait after you stopped that you challenged yourself? And I'm like, what are you talking about? It was almost instantaneous. He says, yeah, that's not stopping, dude. I'm like, oh, I guess you have a point. Has anyone in here ever have you ever counted 5 to 10 seconds of silence? Here, we're gonna do an exercise real quick. 5 seconds of silence. Are you ready? That's a really long time. That is a ridiculously long amount of time. How many of you are actually stopping for those 5 seconds before you challenge? How many of you are stopping to make sure that you're actually challenging yourself? And I just realized I had the wrong screen up. So this is the screen I wanted to show you, the Stop Challenge Shoes slide. Take the pause. Take the pause. Exactly. Paula Hoffman just put it in the chat. Take the pause. I didn't used to pause. And I'll tell you right now, when I stop and I count to five and I have a sip of water, I usually make a better choice after that. If I stop for less than a second or two, I'm not usually making the best choice when it comes to challenging, right?
Right. Right.
I, at least that's for me. I don't know if it's the same for you.
Well, and it's going to come down to a word that Dr. A encourages us to use often, which is consciousness or simply awareness. So we
Hmm.
have to actually, in that pause, the power is in the pause. We actually need to check in with ourselves. And may I encourage you that if you have a why it is that you started this journey, I would encourage you to partner with your future self. Ask your future self, hey, what choice do you want me to make right now? But you've got to check in with it, and it's got to be an awareness versus reacting to whatever life is throwing at you in that moment. We don't want an emotional reaction here, right? Healthy and healthy people aren't perfect. We know you try to be, and you're pretty darn close, Chris.
Well, thank you.
But healthy people pause long enough to choose. Now, again, don't get stuck in the gray. Don't get stuck. However, if you did make a choice for the pizza or for the insert the thing, right? If you've stopped and you've said, hey, this is going to be an intentional choice, then guess what? We are in the driver's seat. Okay. Again, when we say I cheated, it sounds like the cookie had the power, the
Hmm.
food had the power, the donuts were irresistible. Aunt Susie made an apple pie, and I just couldn't let her down. But Aunt Susie's not driving the car. The cookie is not driving the car. Your pizza, Chris, is not driving the car. You are. So you've really got to pause to ask who is driving the bus, you or the food? And that's what Dr. A talks about when he talks about becoming the dominant force in our lives, not reacting, but just choosing intentionally for who we say we are, creating this version of ourselves that's not dieting, stopping and starting, in and out, off and on. I shot out all three tires. No, we're saying, well, maybe in this particular moment, I'm going to choose this, but it's going to be something that happens periodically, not all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. And that is actually something we really want to make sure we understand. You want to have less of those moments. We all like to say, well, I'm not perfect. And yes, my coach told me, yes, I can make these choices occasionally, no problem. Yes, but if that becomes your new normal, then you're gonna stall. You're gonna be stuck and you're gonna get even more frustrated that you're doing the program, but you're not seeing any progress. And I know
Right.
we've talked about this and until we beat this like a dead horse. We truly have. The program is not the 5-1. The program, our program is not the 4-2. It's not, honestly, it's not even the fuelings. I know I'm probably going to get ostracized for saying that, but it's not. It's about eating 6 times a day. It's about being present. It's about making more conscious choices, not more good choices, more conscious choices. Dr. A talked about this about 2 years ago, and it's still stuck with me. Dr. A, the man is amazing. He's incredible, and he built all of this, right? And he came up with the habits of health. He still has these moments. He had a difficult day about 2 years ago, and he walked into a Whole Foods. And when if you've ever walked into a Whole Foods, you know they have that area right there where they have all of the prepared foods, and it smells amazing. And he walked right by the chicken and the pasta and all of that, and I mean, he was definitely wanting some of that. But he stopped. He paused. He challenged himself and said, "Wait, am I starving right now? Or am I just hungry because I'm walking by all of this delicious food?" And then he chose to get a salad with some shrimp in it. And he was very open about that. And it's funny because he said it all nonchalant, like it was no big deal. And I thought, man, if he's still utilizing these principles, what excuse do I have? Right?
Right.
And
Right.
all of us can do this.
Yeah, because I think you just nailed it on the head that the rest of our lives we're going to have choices. And again, our choices form our habits and our habits form our health. Keep partnering with your future self. What do you want long term so that your choices today don't keep you stuck? And take back the driver's seat, right? And really take ownership of the choices that you're making to make sure that it's not hurting you consistently, but it really is helping you. So, and you're taking back that ownership. So, Something that's, I think, really important as well is when we do make the choice and we understand that, we can make a different choice next time. That's really how you become a champion,
Mhm.
champion of your choice. So it's a different CH word that I want us to chat about. Think about the word champion. When we hear that word, we think about someone who wins a trophy, someone who stands on the podium. In fact, we just wrapped up the Winter Olympics a few weeks ago, so we saw a lot of this. But champions aren't made in the moment that they win, that they're standing on the podium. They're made in the thousands of small decisions and thousands of small choices that happened long before they earned the trophy. So a champion athlete doesn't become a champion because of one big moment.
No,
They
no.
became a champion because they were choosing to practice when they were tired, choosing discipline when it was inconvenient, choosing long term goals over short term comfort. And their championship is really built on those choices. And the same is true with health. And I think you just gave a brilliant example in Dr. A because he was practicing for that really awful moment that he had. When he walked in the Whole Foods, he was able to make a choice that served him well instead of spiraling, which is what happens when we're in the I cheated. And then we start shooting out the other three. No one becomes healthy because of one perfect day. They
Mm.
become healthy because they keep choosing well again and again and again. And even if somebody hits a number on the scale, Chris, they're still going to have choices the rest of their life. And I'm glad you brought up that this program is not that we're on the 5-1 or whatever. It's
Yeah.
that we have to be aware of sleep, exercise, hydration, eating, managing stress. And it's the choices we make in these. Some days and weeks we will rock them, other days and weeks we won't. And that's okay. But we've got to keep choosing well, right?
Oh yeah. And one of the things that was said in chat, Jan Paxton, one of our favorite people, Jan Paxman put in the chat, she loves this, and we are never good or bad for what we choose. I hear clients say, I was bad today or I was good today. Our choices may be good or not good, but we are not good or bad depending on what we choose. Our worth is infinite. And that's really what this comes down to. The concept of good and bad, it's about conscious choices. And another big thing is no one becomes unhealthy making a choice off program. I love that. Adet just said that in chat. I was literally about to say that out loud, and then she put it in chat. It's like we're on the same wavelength. But as Jen was saying, you don't get healthier because of one choice. You also don't get unhealthier because of one choice. It's those compounded choices. So just ask yourself, how many good choices are you making right now versus bad choices? And then just strive to make more good choices. That's really all
Right.
this is. And it's not even that that's our program. That's life. That's life.
Yeah.
Like if your child makes a mistake, you want to help them through it. You want to help them understand it, but you don't, immediately excuse them, right? But we don't do that
Mm-mm.
as parents. Like, why
Yeah.
do you do that to yourself? Stop it. Stop it.
Right. Exactly. Just again, like you wouldn't get out and shoot out the other three tires. I heard another analogy kind of along that line. Since you're an iPhone guy, sorry for all the Android users, but I'm kind of with
Don't,
you,
no,
Chris.
don't apologize to those droid users. Those weirdos. I love you guys. I'm kidding. I'm a former IT guy. I use everything. I
Oh my
don't care.
God. Whatever phone you have, let's say you dropped it and
Yeah.
there was a crack. Would you stand there and stomp on it and to finish it off? No. But again, we do that with our health all the time, right?
I, I
So,
I don't know. I don't know if this is going to do. You might not be able to see it. Do you see the shattered screen on my iPhone? This happened
I do.
5 minutes 5 minutes after we got here to our land. This was we got here Saturday, and 5 minutes after I sat down, I dropped my phone, and I have a screen cover on it, but I dropped it and I broke the glass, and I got really upset for a second. And then I'm like, oh no, wait, no, that's why I have the screen cover, right? Oh, you know what? I just figured out another analogy. We weren't going to plan this at all. This is incredible. So if you have a phone and you have a glass cover on it, right? So that you don't scratch it, so you don't break it, things like that. If you drop it and it breaks, you don't throw the phone away like she said. Instead, you peel that off, right? Think of your coach like that glass cover.
Yeah.
Your coach, they're there to help you get cracked. That doesn't sound right. Um,
No, that doesn't
let's
sound
let's phrase that differently. So your coach is there to help protect you. How's that? Your
right.
community, your coach, all of
Right.
this, they're there to help protect you with that. You got to plug in though.
Yeah.
Make sure, and that's another huge part of this too. And I know we
Yeah.
we talk about engaging with your coach and engaging with this amazing community. The reason we say this is because that is the difference between just doing a diet and actually making progress in your health.
Right.
Can you do it on
Right.
your own? Absolutely. People have been doing it on their own for hundreds of thousands of years, right? It's a lot more fun when you can go with people. It's a lot more fun when you can have someone to lean on for support. And it's also fantastic when you have someone that's been there and done that. It
Right.
changes everything.
Right. And we have to remember that our coaches are not the weight loss police. They're not on there going, wagging their finger, going, "Oh my gosh, Chris, I can't believe you ate the pizza."
Well,
But,
not
well,
always. Okay, shout
maybe
out to
they should with you.
Tudor Melville's a client of mine and a coach on my team who constantly eats pizza and sends me photos of it. I'm like, dude, stop it. Stop. Anyway, go on.
Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, but I think that's what is the beauty about maybe looking in the rearview mirror. You guys, we're not hopefully going that way. But it's great to pause every once in a while if we've made a choice, not a cheat, but a choice that didn't serve us. Okay. Look in the rearview mirror to say, hey, next time I'm in that situation, would I choose differently? And I think that's what it means. If is there anybody here who could get on board tonight with viewing yourselves as a champion chooser? Remember, we really, most of us have come from that diet mentality or we're still in it. And we
Mhm.
think about health as rules, but I just really want you to think about it as your identity. Start seeing yourself as a champion chooser. Instead of saying, did I cheat? A champion asks, what choice will make me move forward right now? And a champion also, if they made a choice that surprised them, they didn't use your tool of stop, challenge, and choose. Oh, pause. Let me interrupt myself. Can we make sure that that tool is on your actual tool belt? Because if it's like in a tool shed somewhere and you're at the Dairy Queen with your like gazillion kids, Chris, and yeah, and you have to find out, where is that tool? It's not going to help you in that moment. So make sure it's on your tool belt. But what choice will make me move forward now? Champions, remember, don't expect perfection, but please be expectant of progress and resilience, and that's the consistency over time. So remember, a champion does not get a flat tire and shoot out the other three. They just change the tire, they keep driving and remember that your next choice can redirect you. One cookie doesn't ruin your day any more than one wrong turn ruins a road trip. Okay. And the goal is never to eat pizza. The goal is to never give pizza the power to decide the rest of your day. Keep
Oh,
championing your choices.
that's what it is. I love that. Absolutely love that. So keep championing your day. All right. Well, hopefully you guys found some value in tonight. I love doing Monday nights, and not just because I get to hang out with some of the best people in the world, but also because this keeps me on track. As a coach, I've been coaching for 11 years now. I lost 120 pounds 11 years ago. It changed my life, and I love watching all of this happen in the chat and all of these fantastic people come on and share all of these wins that they have in their health, not in their weight, in their health. And it's so fun to be on this mission with people like Jen and just our entire community. I love it. Absolutely love it. So be sure to tune in next week. We are going to have two of my favorite men in the world. That is Dan Bell and Dr. A. So Dan Bell wrote a compensation plan for coaches, and he's been involved in Altavia for 24 years now. And Dr. A founded this. Dr. A is our co-founder, and you do not want to miss next week. They're going to be talking about the power of partnership, why everyone needs a coach. And these guys, we like to call it the Dan and Wayne show. They have a lot of fun together. They always joke around. They always goof off, and you're going to have a blast. Do not forget also, I'm putting it in the chat right now. Be sure to go subscribe, subscribe, whatever, click those buttons, whatever people say, whatever podcasters do. But we have a podcast available so you can listen to this and rewatch this as you need to anytime you want. It's available to anyone. It doesn't matter if you're a client, a coach, if you just, like to tune in and get entertained every week, whatever. You can definitely tune into that podcast and be here next week for the Power of Partnership and our Let's Talk community. Jen, thank you so much for being on tonight. This was fantastic.
Thank you.
And
Thank
We're
you.
going to have some fun, you guys. We will see you next week.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.